Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Dunkirk. That's right, you guys asked for it, here it is. The Dunky. First of all, our commander, Robert Gijard with Paolo de Revel and Andrew Cunningham. We got Flammable Cannoneer, Crisscross, Marksmanship. We've got Reaching Out XXL, and we have Fight Fire with Fire. We are running Aiming Systems Mod 1, and we are running Propulsion Mod 2. With all of your guns being at the front, you don't necessarily need to be able to turn too crazily, so having the extra speed and acceleration can hurt. Everything else here is pretty normal. Specs. 52,600 hit points with this build, 25% torque reduction. Main guns, you get 330mm 52 caliber Saint-Chamorros. I apologize if I say that wrong. But you get 8 of those, reaching out to 17.9 kilometers with this build, 26.5 second reload time, 27.7 second main battery turret traverse. Shell grouping of 1.87, so not terrible, not great. Max range, vertical dispersion. We don't need to go into that. HE shell maximum damage 4,800 with a 35% chance to set fires. Pins 55 millimeters, and then the AP shell maximum damage 9,700 with standard armor pin angles 45/60s, and yeah. Secondaries, we have 130mm 45 caliber MLE 1932s. You get 4 of those, reaching out to 4.2 kilometers, reloading every 5 seconds, firing HE with a maximum damage of 1900 and a 9% chance to set fires, and they pin 22 mil. For the other one, you have 130mm 45 caliber MLE 1932s. You get 12 of those, reaching out to 4.2 kilometers, reloading in 5 seconds, and also doing 1900 damage, firing HE with a 9% chance to set fires. And they also pin 22 mil. AA Defense, 13.2mm 76 caliber CAC MLE 1929s. You get 32 of those, doing 78 damage per second, but it's at 1.2 kilometers, so basically useless. And then you have the 130mm 45 caliber MLE 1932 dual purpose secondaries. The 2x2, you get 26 damage per second, reaching out to 5.2 kilometers, and the 3x4, you get 39 damage per second, reaching out to 5.2 kilometers. And then finally, you have the 37mm 50 caliber MLE 1933s. You get 10 of those, doing 21 damage per second, reaching out to 3 kilometers. So not terrible for the tier, but not great either. Maximum speed, 730 knots. Yep, that is the fastest battleship ever. Maximum speed of 29.5 knots, so really good. Turning circle of 730 meters. Very good. Not quite as good as some of the dreadnoughts, but again, it's to be expected when you're not really worried about turning and stuff because all your firepower is at the front. Detectability by sea is 14 kilometers. Detectability by air is 11.7. Guaranteed is always 2. 11.9 kilometer smoke firing penalty. Statistics. I was gonna say one of the lower battleships that I've played. It's not that I don't like the ship. It's just that it has a tendency to get firepower knocked out pretty easily. Also, it gets overmatched by anything pretty much. So yeah, anything with 15-inch guns and above just tears the thing apart. And like I said, these turrets are just known for getting knocked out, so you got to be careful with that. It's just a weaker version of a Jean Bart or something like that. It's a good ship, but just know what your weaknesses are. But across 36 battles, you can see my average damage is only 70,000. That's pretty low, but that again shows that these are small guns, and with French dispersion, sometimes they control you. Okay, and as I stated, there is no armor. Okay, so you're going to be overmatchable pretty much everywhere. Now, there is a little bit of layered armor here with a little bit of turtleback, but again, it's not the greatest in the world. You can absolutely bounce if they shoot your water line, but if they shoot anywhere else, like they're just going to nuke you. Like, you got all of this overmatchable armor up here that anything with 15-inch guns and above goes right through. And then even your turtleback armor scheme that you have here isn't the most angled thing in the world. It's not bad compared to the time period, but yeah, just keep that in mind. You're not likely to get citadeled with this thing unless somebody goes through the back of your ship. That is a thing that does happen occasionally. Front, I haven't really been citadeled through the front too much. You do take some damage from people that overmatch you, but definitely from the rear. So if you get into a situation where you're trying to kite, be careful, because you can absolutely be citadeled through the rear. Overview: fast, above average move, maximum. We already know all this stuff. We don't need to talk about that. With that being said, let's get to the gameplay, shall we? Alrighty, so we're going to be on Warrior's Path, and we spawned on the, I guess it would be the west flank in the north, and we're going to showcase a good example of how to recognize when you have an advantage and how to take that advantage, right? So, with that being said, I just want you guys to pay attention to some of what goes on during this match. First of all, I have a destroyer here, and this destroyer is actually going to come in clutch when I need him to, right? But he's going to do a good job initially of spotting for us to kind of give us an idea of what's out there. Because again, I don't want to throw myself out there too early and put myself in a bad position. We're easily overmatchable. Again, this is a fast ship, so that comes in real handy. But you've got to keep in mind that you don't have that much armor. So when you do push out, you got to understand that you are very easily overextending. So just one thing to think about, right? There's a lot of stuff to think about, but that's one of them when you're playing this particular ship. And that goes for the Strasbourg as well. If you ever get the Strasbourg Tier 6, a lot of people think, whoa, it's Tier 6 Dunky. Why would I want to do that? Trust me, Strasbourg is fantastic. Okay, it's better than Dunky, and it has reload boosters. What more can you ask for? Strasbourg is great as well. I like these ships because they're different, right? Well, at least before John Barton that existed, they were different. But I really enjoy these ships because they play differently. And if you've played the French super cruisers, then you'll like these things, right? Like, if you like those, you're going to like these. But Tennessee is going to be the first thing spotted over here on the enemy team. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on. First of all, it's carrier game, right? Our first shot out, terrible, as you'd expect. 2 shatters and a ricochet, no damage on 3 hits. Not a good start, right? But noting that our destroyer is out here kind of spotting ahead of us, we're going to try to push our advantage here. We have a destroyer. They don't seem to have one over here because I didn't get spotted by anybody until I fired. And then, of course, Tennessee goes behind the island. It's to be expected. So that's going to allow us to push up even further before he even knows we exist, right? So our goal here is to try to intercept the Tennessee in a favorable position. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the destroyer on my left in the middle. I believe he's about to run into a destroyer. I could be wrong. I can't remember if the enemy destroyer comes over here or not. But either way, Tennessee is about to make a grievous error. And when you recognize that you have an advantage like this, again, we have a battleship in the back who's just kind of sitting there broadside to everything. He's not really in a good position to really shoot anything on the map. Maybe he'll get a shot at this Tennessee. I can't really tell. But I know he can't shoot the guys on the right side of the map because he's got an island there. And with me and this destroyer, and the only thing against us is this Tennessee, you can see, not the best shot you'll ever see in the world, right? These French battleships, they are trolly as crap. They are known as shotguns, right? But you can see there are shots coming in from our friend in the back. He gets a little bit of damage as well. But the main thing is I'm baiting this Tennessee because I want him to run into these torpedoes. Like, I know the destroyer's there. He had no clue, right? As far as he knows, I'm the thing spotting him. But, yeah, unfortunately for him, that is not the case. And we go through the cheek as well to add a little bit more insult to injury. But that man is just about had it as he loses all of his health. And then he makes a mistake of trying to shoot my belt or through the bow. He doesn't overmatch me. it takes 15-inch guns, so the Tennessee's 14-inch guns aren't enough. And then, of course, I'm going to beat that reload. So since he wasted his shells, we're going to go for the drive-by here and not bother even aiming down sights. And we're going to finish him off. Easy kill. Again, recognizing that advantage. Now, Leardy gets spotted. And as I said, I thought he did come over here. But unfortunately, by the time I get these guns rotated back around, I'm going to be going behind the island. I'm not going to be able, and so is he. So I'm not going to be able to help him. Which is real unfortunate, because I do like to try to shoot destroyers when I get a chance, right? He does hit the island initially and starts to reverse here, but again, by the time I can potentially shoot at him, I'm going behind the island, so then we're not able to take the shot. But the astute among you may have realized that there is nothing else over here. So it's just straight up, straight to their base. And this is why abandoning your flank is a bad idea. The only thing over here was that destroyer that came over late, and the New Mexico. The New Mexico was essentially by himself. And so now I have a beeline straight for their carrier and their cap point. And any of their team that may still be hanging around back by their base. Which there appears to be a couple of cruisers. Now, Leardy does get himself spotted, so we're going to go ahead and take a shot at him. And we get a little bit of damage on him, but not much, right? But watch, not only does the destroyer that's close to him fire at him, but there's also the other destroyer out on the flank, which I believe we saw was the Akatsuki or something, but he shoots at him, which is fantastic. So the Benson and the Akatsuki managed to come together to help get rid of him. And now, of course, the carrier's starting to feel like he's probably not wanting to deal with me at the moment. But unfortunately for him, it's too little too late. Should have been helping your team all along on this flank. Since it was the weak side, you would think that that's where you would try to focus your firepower from your carrier to help the weak side, but instead he's been over there on the other side this whole time, and now suddenly I'm in a great position to ruin his day. We get 2 citadels on the first shot, and we're going to come in with the follow-up shot here, and I believe he starts moving, but I think that doesn't matter. I think that's all she wrote. Yeet. Down she goes. 4 citadels and 2 salvos on a carrier. You'll love to see it. But that's when the true cruisers start spotting me, and the Eastern Dragon of the 2 of them is my least favorite to have to shoot me, right? Because he's Japanese, he's got long-range torpedoes, he's broadside as crap right now, and the HE absolutely is brutal. Now, I fire expecting him to go forward towards the island to go into cover, and he starts reversing, which is just mind-bogglingly stupid to me. But you can't always anticipate what somebody's going to do. In my mind, that's the smart play. It's what I would do if I were him. So that's where I shot, and then he makes the right call and goes in reverse. But you can see he's clearly deciding to go forward this time. So we're going to try to hit him here as he goes forward and see if we can't get rid of him quickly. And, I mean, that shot can't be much better. And we get a double citadel, leaving him, of course, with just enough to continue being a problem. Which is not good for us, because now we are fighting both the cruisers. Neither of them are dead. Eastern Dragon, I believe, goes dark here right before I get loaded. You can see he's kind of getting behind the island. And, yeah, unfortunately, they do go dark. But good news is, because they were the ones spotting me, I also go dark. So I don't have to necessarily fire my guns here. But as you can see, the Connecticut in the middle of the map is starting to shoot at me as well. And so now that I'm spotted, I got to go ahead and start engaging him. The downside is, of course, these cruisers are going to start shooting at me again. And again, that Japanese cruiser specifically, the American is shooting AP, the Indianapolis is shooting AP, so it's not that big a deal. The Japanese boat is being a problem with that HE. French battleships don't like HE, specifically, you know, Japanese HE. But shout out to the destroyer coming in clutch, dropping a smokescreen. Now, normally I would say this is not a good idea, but in this instance, it definitely comes in handy, because we're going to be able to use this smokescreen, and I believe the second destroyer also drops a smokescreen, which is unheard of to have 2 different smokescreens dropped for me by destroyers. And you can see Andrea Doria here begging for it. We're going to go ahead and fire our guns at him to make sure we get him off the board. This is going to give us our 4th kill of the game, I believe. The Indy is moved in behind the island, so he's no longer a threat to me. The Connecticut, on the other hand, you can see this guy. This one wasn't dropped for me particularly, but he did drop it, and I'm going to utilize it. And what we're going to do is basically wait for the Connecticut to be in the best possible position before we go and reveal ourselves. Now, as he comes out from behind the island, I've got a free shot here. I'm hoping to take the shot early enough, but unfortunately, I just don't think I do. Yeah, he gets around the corner just in time to get me spotted from a smoke firing penalty. We do smash him pretty good, though, and the Indy has now come out broadside as crap. So as much as I want to shoot the Connecticut here, I've got to go for the Indianapolis. And the Indianapolis, like I said, absolutely begging for it. And if you're in the Indy in this situation, there ain't much you can do about it. You're done. You're done. These are French magic bullets, Sunshine. Wait for it. Wow! No! Come on! Why do I always have to leave it with just enough blow? Come on. He's got no health. Please, God, don't let anybody shoot this Connecticut. We're only one shot away from a Kraken. Please, no, stop shooting him. Please. Please stop shooting him. Oh, dear Lord. Get loaded, get loaded, get loaded. Fires the guns. Wait for it. Will the shells make it, or will it end in heartbreak? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z as we pick up our Kraken. I'm not going to lie, I was a little trolled by that Indy, and I thought for sure somebody was going to yoink that last kill before my shells got there, but we pulled it off. 2,700 base XP, top of the leaderboard. We got the First Blood, we got the High Caliber, and the Kraken Unleashed. So, you gotta love it. Let me know if you guys are still enjoying down in the comments. Also, go blue! Today is the day of the game. Ohio State, Michigan are playing today, so gotta root for my boys in blue. If you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.